All right, coming at you live, Sofa Kings, Madden Football. We have the Chicago Bears and Minnesota Vikings, both 2-0, facing off in Week 3, bitter division rivals. Paul, the pig, the cop, Wingle, even though his real name is Steven, a little hidden from the real world. And you have Ramon, the Stoner Moore, leading us off here. Bears, Vikings coming up next. Bears have won the toss, receive. Fair catch, and they'll bring the ball out to the 25. Under center for the Bears is Tyree Jackson, a Where Have You Come From story, rated in the 60s and now an X Factor in the 90s. The cop has done some work with this quarterback and pass heavy offense. Tariq Cohen lined up next to him in the shotgun. Trips to the left. And there's the snap. Going deep to Julio Jones. Brings it down to about the opponent's 35-yard line on 1st and 10. 40-yard completion on the first play of the game for Julio Jones. We lined up in a pistol formation with Shaheen off to the right. Back to pass. Looks like we may have pass interference on the defense here. Mike Hillman, the strong safety, pass interference. Penalty accepted. 1st and 10 at the 20. Welcome to the red zone, Chicago. Empty backfield here for Tyree Jackson. 1st and 10 from the 20. A fake reverse to a inside pitch to Tariq Cohen. Gains about 2 to the 18. We have 2nd and 8 coming up with about 8:19 on the clock. 0-0 on the board. First drive of the game. Only 3 plays inside the red zone for the Chicago offense. We have split out to the left, 2 receivers, shotgun formation for Jackson. The first run play of the game runs into a stout defensive line led by Daniel Hunter and Derek Barnett. Barnett with the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10 at the 20 after the 2-yard loss. Five wide, empty back. Tariq Cohen split out wide to the left with Julio Jones in the slot to the left. George Kittle lined up right off the tackle. Pump fake. Rolls to his right. Brought down by Daniel Hunter for his first sack of the game. That'll bring up a 4th and 17. Pushed back to his 27. Field goal attempt coming up for the Bears. The kick is up. And it's right down the middle. We have a score on the board, 3-0 Chicago. 6:55 on the clock. Vikings about to receive the kick. Fielded about 4 deep. Chambers brings it out. Makes a move. Gets to about the 22. About 3 yards short if he would have just fair caught the ball. Might not have been the best call. Ramon brings the offense out, and after signing Jimmy Garoppolo, the struggles have been real. He's been benched in both of his games so far this year, only throwing 5 passes in the last game with a come-from-behind victory with the backup. Handoff to Cook right up the middle, stuffed. 3-yard loss. Now we have 2nd and 13 at the 9. Under center, 3 wide. Cook in the back. Stretch play. About a 4-yard gain, I'm sorry. Going to bring us to a 3rd and 8 from his own 25. Dalvin Cook again with the carry. That'll give him 2 carries for a 2-yard gain on the day so far. Again, under center, 3 wide. Thielen in the slot. Diggs stretched wide left. Cook in motion to the right. Now lining up in the slot to the right. Empty backfield. Irvin Smith is lined up on the line as a tight end. Throws it to Smith coming off the line. Beats Jerome Baker, a new addition to the defense, down to about the 46. First down, Vikings. Speaking of Jerome Baker, newly acquired from the Miami Dolphins in the offseason for superstar wide receiver Irvin Tarpley, who has gone to Miami and produced for him. We have Jimmy G on a post route to Irv Smith Jr. again on 1st and 10 from the 46 down to the opponent's 28. The offenses are moving early on a play action corner route to Irv Smith Jr. from the tight end spot. We now have an I formation. Jimmy G under center. Diggs stretched to the left. Drops back to pass. Throws it to Irv Smith again. Makes a move down to the 11, but we do have some laundry on the field. It looks like a holding by the left guard. That'll bring it all back. We're back to the 38. 1st and 20 for the Vikings after another look to the tight end, who seems to be a focus of this offense so far. We've got a 2 tight end set. Single back. Trap play. Up the middle by Cook. About a 4-yard gain. That'll give you 2nd and 16 at the 34. Vikings moving in to scoring position. Back to pass is Jimmy G. Khalil Mack off the edge with the sack. First of the day, 4th of the year, 3rd and 22 for the Vikings on the opponent's 41-yard line. You have to think maybe a draw play here. We have 2 split out to the left. Irv Smith lined up off center in the gun for Jimmy G. Cook lined up to his right. Bears are in a 2-man down. All 4 linebackers at the line of scrimmage showing heavy blitz. They bail. Back to pass to Jimmy G. Corner route to Thielen. Kinder picked to the 50. Down to about the 47. Tackled by Dalvin Cook. Interception Jimmy G. And just struggles continue. As mentioned before, benched in his previous 2 games. And it's not a good start for him here as he throws an interception return to his 47. Bears offense onto the field. You have to think he's going to have a short leash after already being benched twice. Could it be a 3rd time's a charm? Again, the Vikings came from behind to win last week despite the play of Jimmy Garoppolo, and his backup is ready to go. Bears lined up on offense. Under center is Jackson. Cohen behind him. Inside zone play to Cohen. Makes a move. Down to the first down to the 34. 13 yards on the ground. We have a 1st and 10 at the 34. Threatening already. 4 offensive plays have been run by the Bears, and with 3 on the board already, this offense looks to be explosive versus a Vikings defense. Jackson under center again, 3 wide receivers. Julio stretched wide, Ridley in the slot, Hardman out to the left. Cohen again, up the middle, bounces outside, takes it down the sideline, runs out of bounds at the 4. 1st and goal with the 4 after Cohen takes it 30 yards. Could have walked in, just couldn't keep his balance. We have an empty set. Jackson in the gun. 5 wide. All tight ends or receivers. No backs. Quick throw. Hardman slant. Touchdown. Bears. We have 9-0 with the kick to ensue. All over the Vikings early. And the kick is good, giving us 10-0 with 2:32 left in the first. Vikings offense about to receive the kick. Have to think Jimmy's got to put some points on the board here, or at least look productive in order to not get benched for a third time. Chambers out to the 30. Not quite. Got brought down at the 28. Positive 3 yards after fielding about 3 yards deep. Opposite of the last kick. Seems to be a good decision to bring this one out. 2:29 on the clock. Garoppolo under center. 2 tight end set. Diggs and Thielen out wide. Cook lined up behind him. Handoff to Cook. Right up the middle. Bounces off a couple guys. Gains about only a yard as Khalil Mack and Rowland bring him down for a 1 yard gain. 2nd and 9 at the 29. Power eye, tight end off to the left. Cook in the backfield. In tight is Thielen and Diggs. Jimmy G makes an adjustment at the line. Another adjustment. Play clock running down. 8, 7. Drops back to pass. Off the edge. Khalil Mack again. 2nd of the day. Big loss. We now have 3rd and 16 at the 22 with 1:43 to remain. Keeps up this pace. He is on pace for 6 sacks on the day. By no means a SK record, as sacks are off the charts this year. Jimmy G lined up in the gun. Cook to his left. Thielen in motion. Now you have trips to the right. Diggs all by himself on the left. Back to pass. 3rd and 16. Diggs deep. Gray picked off again by the safety this time. Gray, that's his first of the year after he leads the team in tackles. First interception of the year after an overthrow. Bears ball on their own 43. 1st and 10, 1:17 to go. Jimmy G, 2nd pick of the day. Don't be surprised if the backup comes in relatively shortly. Tyree Jackson, we have a under center. Hardman split wide to the right. Julio in tight to the left. Cohen behind him. Play action pass. Back to pass. Brought down by Gordon. I'm not sure the first name. Gordon. Brought down by Gordon, his first of the day. From Derek Barnett's usual spot on the left-hand side. That'll bring us to 2nd and 17. 7-yard loss. Back to his own 36. Jackson in the gun, all by himself. 5 wide, Cohen in tight to the right. Giving you trips to the right with Kittle and Hardman and Cohen. Ridley and Jones off to the left. Back to passes, Jackson. On an under to Hardman, makes a catch down to the 47. Gives Jackson 4 for 4 in the day for 57 yards and a score already. 3rd and 6 coming up. We'll get one more play before the second quarter starts. Huge 3rd down conversion here for the Vikings defense. They can hold, they can keep themselves in the game a little quicker than the first quarter being over. First down here threatens the Bears to get into field position to score, which would make it possibly a 3-score game already. Empty gun. Off to the right is Hardman all by himself. Middlebrooks, Ridley, and Julio to the left. Kittle line up on the line. Adjustments line. Play clock 5, 4, 3. Back to the passes. Jackson. Goes a slant to Julio. Possession catch. First down Bears. As that is the end of the quarter. Let's take a quick look as the Bears are on offense at some of their key players today. Already mentioned several times, Tyree Jackson hasn't missed a throw yet. Hardman I brought up with his blistering speed. Cohen took a run all the way down to the 4. And here he goes again off to the left. Breaking free from the 42 all the way in. Touchdown Bears. Tariq Cohen, just as I was mentioning. Key players to watch in today's game. And he takes one 42 yards for the score. 16-0 Bears. Vikings look to be in trouble. Also on this key players to watch, Khalil Mack already has 2 sacks on the day. Kick is up and is good. 17-0. Bears, Vikings ready to receive the next kick. You have to think these key players are key players for a reason, and that's why Cohen now has a touchdown. Mack, 2 sacks on the day. Tyree Jackson hasn't missed a ball yet. We have a pause in the game. Can only be assumed it's a Vikings pause. Out goes Jimmy Garoppolo would be the guess. for the third straight game. This is the quickest he's been yanked yet, if that proves to be the case. Waiting to get reported in from the sidelines whether that was the case, if Jimmy Garoppolo is no longer on the field for the Vikings. Luckett is under center. Jimmy Garoppolo yanked 3 times in a row. I don't expect to see him get the start next week. Cook split out wide to the right, leaving from the backfield. Audible at the line. Back to pass is Luckett. First throw. Thielen on a slant. Big first down catch from the 25 to the 42. First down, Vikings. That's a 17-yard completion on his first play of the game for Luckett. I'm sorry. Under center, power eyes, Luckett. Stretch play to the right. There, Juice. Off he goes from the 42 to the 20. 10, 5, touchdown, Vikings. 2 plays. We have a score. This might still be a ball game yet. 17-6 with the ensuing extra point. Kick is up and it is good. 17-7, 8:20 left in the second quarter. Bears, Vikings. Vikings just got on the board to close the gap a little bit. I think now would be a good time to show you the key Minnesota Vikings for today's game. One of which has already been yanked from the game. Jimmy Garoppolo taken out in the second quarter for Luckett. Luckett comes in, leads a touchdown drive in 2 plays. First play is a 15-yard pass. Second play, a 42-yard run by backup running back Darius Juice. I believe that pronunciation is correct. On the field now is the Vikings defense, where you have Derek Barnett and Daniel Hunter. Barnett just misses Cohen in the backfield. From 1st and 10 on the 25 to absolutely nothing. It could have been about a 3-yard loss. Barnett just missed Cohen in the backfield. On the other side of that defensive line from Barnett is Daniel Hunter, an absolute stud pass rusher. Should be in Jackson's face all day. Hasn't been there yet, which is very surprising. Jackson, empty gun. Cohen off to the right. Ridley and Julio spread out to the left. Shaheen and Kittle to the right. Screen to Cohen. Kittle with the block. 1 man to miss. Cohen makes a miss down to the 47. Jackson still perfect on the day. 6 for 6 for 90 yards and a score. 1st and 10 from their own 47 after a Cohen screen out wide. Made 1 man miss. Only had 1 to beat. Didn't quite get it past them. 1st and 10 Bears. Jackson under center. 2 tight ends set. Cohen in the backfield. Hardman to the right. Julio Jones off to the left. 4 down linemen for the Vikings. Back to pass is Jackson. Up the seam. Oh. Julio Jones on an under. Up the seam. George Kittle was wide open. Walk-in touchdown. Hits Julio for a 5-yard completion. His 3rd catch of the day after being 5th on the team in receiving yards coming into the game. Seemed to be a big focal point of the offense so far. Jackson in the gun. Cohen spread out to the right. Kittle, Hardman to the right. Ridley and Julio spread out to the left. Jackson lined up next to Cohen. Cohen lined up next to Jackson in the gun. Hand off to the left. Brought down by Anthony Barr at the 50. 3rd and 7. A 2-yard loss as the impact linebacker finally steps up, makes a play, and gets to the fast little running back. Jackson in the gun with Cohen lined up to the left. 4 wide, 2 on each side. Making adjustments to line with 14 on the play clock. 6:12 in the game clock. 17-7 Bears over Vikings. Right at midfield. 3rd and 7. Huge conversion coming up. Jackson back to pass. Throws a deep ball to Mecole Hardman, the leading receiver for the team. Touchdown, 50 yards. Deep post. Mecole Hardman for 6. Tyree Jackson is absolutely dialed in today. We have an ensuing kick to make it 24-7 Bears. 5:59 left in the second. Vikings to receive the ball. for the second drive for backup quarterback. Although I would say at this point, starting quarterback, Luckett. Luckett under center, tight end to the left, Thielen and Diggs in tight. Cook lined up behind him. 3-4 formation across from him. Squeezing the linebackers in on the line. Luckett makes an adjustment to the line, drops back to pass. Throws a flat route to the fullback, which is dropped. Same exact formation offensively, same exact formation defensively. A spread out on the D, stretch play to the left for Cook. Picked up by the fullback. Cook breaks through to the second level, gets to the 36. That's an 11-yard gain for a first down. Vikings giving us a 1st and 10 from the 36 with 5:36 on the clock. Luckett under center again, single back. Trips to the left, drops back to pass. Mack coming off the edge. Throws a pick to Jerome Baker. Newly acquired from Miami, picked off. Turn to the 35 of the Vikings, and this game is getting out of hand in a hurry. The Vikings offense just can't find a rhythm or a groove or anything short of the one long run. Passing seems to be a huge deficiency, and the Bears take over. 1st and 10 from the 35. Jackson under center. Counterplay to Cohen. Right into Barr's arms. Loss of a yard. Giving us 2nd and 11 after Anthony Barr makes another tackle for a loss. Jackson in the gun, 2 backs. Love and Cohen lined up behind him. Trips. Cohen to the right, tackled for a loss by Daniel Hunter. That's another yard loss. 3rd and 12 coming up at the 37 after Hunter makes a 1-yard loss on the running back. 3rd down has been a big down for this Bears offense so far, leading to a touchdown on the last 3rd down they faced. 50 yards to Mecole Hardman on a deep post, splitting the safeties. Tyree Jackson is dialed in, lights out, tough to contain. See what he comes up with here. 3rd and 12. Empty back. Trips to the left. Quads to the left. Julio stretched out way wide. Tariq Cohen to the right. All by himself. Back to pass. Throws an in route to Ridley, the slot wide receiver with a catch down to the 18. That's another first down on 3rd down. 3rd down conversions have just been absolutely massive for this game. Coming up on the 4-minute mark left in the half. 1st and 10 at the 18 in the red zone. Really stretch this lead out and find plenty of comfort in the game for the Bears offense. In the gun is Jackson. Coming in motion is Ridley. Pitches it to him. That's a loss. 3-yard loss for wide receiver Ridley. Crediting that as a pass play for Tyree Jackson, giving him 10 for 10 on the day. Still 159 yards, 2 scores. 2nd and 13 at the 21. Jackson under center. Cohen lined up behind him to the left. Right up the middle. Cohen will gain about 3-4 yards on the play, giving you a 3rd and 9. Another long 3rd down conversion upcoming for a offense that has had no problems picking them up. And a defense who can't seem to get off the field. Jackson is under center again. 2 tight ends set. Cohen lined up behind him. 3 minutes on the clock. Jones in motion from left to right. Fake to Jones. Sack. Back to the 21. Gordon with his 2nd of the day. He is wearing a C on his jersey. The captain, Gordon, with the big sack on Jackson. Here's the kick on 4th down. And it's up and straight down center. 27-7. Bears 20-point lead with 2:29 on the clock. Kick to Chambers, feels about 6 deep. Decided to take a knee on this one. Probably a good decision after a net 3 on the last one. -3 on the first one. Might as well just take the knee and call it a net gain of 0. Vikings line up down 20, 2:29 to go at the own 25. Luckett under center, tight end to the right. Dalvin Cook in behind him. Dean on the slot to the left. Hand off to Cook to the left. Gets through the line. Brought down maybe to 26. I'm going to say more to 25. Net gain to 0. 2nd and 10 coming up for Vikings offense. You might see the 2-minute warning here. 209, 208. Luckett in the gun. Cook lined up to his right. 4 wide. 2 on each side. Adjustment line, 2-minute warning. Oh, he gets it off just before the clock strikes. Cook on an angle route. It looked like what he wanted. Jerome Baker takes it away, and we have another sack. This one coming from the defensive line. Right up the middle. 1:56 on the clock, 2-minute warning. We'll come out of that at 3rd and 15 for the Vikings offense at their own 20. Luckett is in the gun. Cook lined up to his right. Back to pass. Steps up. Sack again. Cam Jordan, first of the day. Brought over from New Orleans to bring an added pressure from the other side of Khalil Mack. And he added just that right there. 4th and 19 at their own 16. Clock running down. 1:33. I can see them taking this play clock all the way down to 0, giving them about 1:04 at the kick for the Bears offense to try and widen the lead just before the half. Punt is away. Cohen's lined up his own 30, fields the punt, makes a move, breaks a tackle down to about the 40-yard line. 10-yard on the return, 1:13 on the clock at his own 40. Tyree Jackson has not missed a throw yet. I expect him to try and go get a couple more points and really widen this out before the half. Back to pass is Jackson. Takes a look. First incompletion, looking for George Kittle, covered by Anthony Barr. That'll give us 2nd and 10 as Kittle ran an outside post to the sidelines. Barr was all over him, swatted the ball away. Jackson in the gun. Cohen lined up to his left. Trips to the right with Kittle being the inside receiver. Jones all the way over the left by himself. 4 down linemen for the defense. Jackson makes an adjustment to the line. Asks the crowd to keep quiet for a second. Snaps the ball, back to pass. 3-step drop. Rolls to his right. Finds Ridley on an under. Barr slams Ridley to the ground. Big hit. Anthony Barr giving you a 3rd and 4 after a completion of 6. Usually not a good matchup to have Anthony Barr and a speedy wide receiver like Ridley. Stuck with him just enough. Gave up the completion, but absolutely made him pay for catching the ball. 47 seconds on the clock. 3rd and 4 for the Bears offense, which has not been stopped all day. Jackson in all by himself. Ridley is in the middle on the right, straddled by Kittle and Hardman. Back to pass is Jackson. Finds Ridley on a slant, inside slant, gets to his 43. Bears are in the offensive side on the offensive side of the field. 28 seconds to go. 27-7 before the half at the 43. Jackson is in the gun. Cohen lined up to his left, 4 wide. Makes an adjustment at the line. Back to pass. 3-step drop. Looking for Hardman again on the deep post. Just overthrew him. Would have been an E. He was wide open. Absolutely wide open. If he doesn't overthrow him, he catches the ball on the goal line. And we're talking about a 34-7 lead at the half. But instead, incompletion. 22 seconds ago. 2nd and 10 from the 43. Jackson in the gun. Cohen lined up to his right. 4 wide outside. Back to pass. Pressure up the middle from Barnett. Throws it to Kittle. Catches the ball. Down at the 21. Timeout Bears. 16 seconds to go. Just before the half. In scoring range for an easy field goal. They want more. Kittle with his first catch of the day for 23 yards. First and 10 from the 21. Jackson in the gun, 3 wide out. Kittle lined up on the line. Cohen lined up to his right. Back to pass. Finds Cohen on an in route. Dropped. Barr hits him, levels him, disconnects ball from man. Great defensive play by Anthony Barr, the only impact player that we mentioned earlier that is actually making a difference, though not a huge one, as they are still trailing by 20. Jackson lined up with dual halfbacks in the gun. Back to pass. Fake. Flag on the play. Bryce Love makes 2 moves. Makes 2 men miss. Tackled about the 11 as we have a holding call. 7 seconds ago at his own 30. 2nd and 19. 1 timeout. Looks like he's going to come out and kick a field goal to try and push this 30-7 at half. From the 30. The kick is up. And it looks like it's right down Main Street. 3 seconds ago before the half. 30-7. Bears over Vikings. It has not been close. Both teams came in at 2-0. It really looks like the Bears are going to leave 3-0, barring a miracle comeback. Kick is up. It's squibbed, caught, and that's the half. 30-7. Bears over Vikings. Vikings receive the ball. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't at least mention the offensive struggles that the Vikings have to be considered, at least in part, to the missing of a guy who only has 4 catches on the year in 2 games, but he's got 2 touchdowns. 50% of the time he catches the ball, it's a touchdown. Luckett is under center, power I, 2 wide receivers with Irv Smith Jr. line up on the line. Handoff up the middle. Cook for maybe a yard. Brought down by the defensive tackle. Luckett under center again, power I, exact same formation for the Vikings. Stretch play to the right for Cook. Madden picks up Roland. The safety comes up and makes a tackle. That's a game about 6. 3rd and 3 to go from his own 32 for the Vikings. Offensive woes here are just impressive, to say the least. In the gun is Luckett all by himself. Cook lined up to his left. Now he motions him outside wide. Trips inside tight to the right. Cook to the left. Back to pass is Luckett. Throws an under route to JJ. Oh. Apparently JJ was no longer injured, even though it said he was. He must have forced him back early. JJ with his first catch of the day.